Okay. Yeah. What the fuck? Hold on. Get that back in there. Yeah. Hello. How are you doing? Evils295. I will never understand where you came up with that name, but okay. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, it's live. It should be. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll just look up stuff on Google and see how you guys are doing. Wait, hold on. Let me just pull the goddamn chat out. Alright. Okay. I need to pop that out or something. Oh, hello. Oh, there we go. I think God damn it. I have no idea what I'm doing. There we go. Just... Huh. I don't know. Oh well. Yeah, I used to stream a decent amount of Neptunia, I guess. Back when I had nothing else to do. And now they've got VVVtunia. A bunch of, what, live stream VTubers? Let me pull up some music here. Alright, some background music. Let's get some, funny little background music going. Just, put that there, do that, and, I will pull up some little music. If I can find some good music. Shit. Come to the video. Oh, come on, I'm trying out this Streamlabs OBS. I've never like even known it existed. I don't know. Whatever. Just get some music going, I guess. YouTube. Let's put up some royalty-free jazz or something, right? Just some of that garbaggio music. Except let's not pick something that's actually garbage. Let's see. What was that guy called? Shit, I don't know. Forgot his name. I don't know. I actually can't remember the name. There was one song that I kind of liked. Oh my god. Ah, there we go. I think that's his name. No, hold on. There we go. Yeah. I am into VTubers. I've definitely been finding them entertaining. Not exactly funny, like ha funny, like yeah, that joke is really funny, but more like, yeah, that's some absurd shit going on there, you know? Like Kiryu Coco being like, just obviously making jokes at her own expense, you know? Like her tail. Just gotta, you pull it out and put it back in anytime you want. Oh my god, I have no idea what I'm gonna do for music. Actually, let me see. I cannot tell what I'm gonna do. Oh, there we go. That's the guy's name. Okay, I think that should work. Yeah, I think it should. Can you actually even hear that? Okay. Huh. But yeah, VTubers and Neptunia. That's interesting. Wish they would have done something a little bit different with it, you know, it's instead of just you basically watching a giant fucking infomercial commercial for like you know, fucking VTubers. Jesus. Okay, I gotta put that on real quick. Just make sure I got no off-brand for wallpapers on my desktop. I put something on real quick. Let me see. You gotta set as background. Oh, that's terrible. Ooh. I guess I may as well just let me see. I'll just add a new scene, and I will add an image. Where the fuck is it? The image stuff. Oh, there we go. Add that source. Just you know, I'm really channeling my inner Mr. Medicare here, you know, with this stuff. There we go. Oh yeah, that's right. They had a gun system, but they don't let you play as Uni. I mean, what can I say? You know, that's Neptunia for you. It's like kind of low budget, you know. Not exactly going to do certain things, you know. It's a little too much out of their price range, you know. Oh my god. Just... Alright, let me see if I can get this going. Where is it? There we go. How do we do this? Put it over there. Just, yank it right there. Just... There you go. That's good. We're just going to talk a bit about Neptunia for now. I'll just change out the background to something else when we're done. But, yeah. I'm testing out a new microphone as well. Fucking, what, the Fifine or something? It's a kit, so it came with a mic arm. And a pop filter, shock mount, windscreen, or whatever, windscreen, wind foam. You know, you hear that? One of those, spring-loaded, mic arms, so it's like... Maybe it's not the best, I don't know. I'm not a fucking expert on mic arms. Oh shit, no. Get back to the music real quick. There you go. Loop. I mean, look, if it wasn't a spinoff, I wouldn't be so quick to burn the world. You know? Like, because think about it, if it's a mainline game gets popular, you might actually see them introduce some VTubers, some actual VTubers into a story mode. You know, if it can actually inspire, like, VTuber groups to do more than just, you know, a cameo for, like, getting more simp bucks, you know, getting more people to go to their channels. And it might be better for them, too. Don't count the VTubers out now, you know? They deserve some of your simp bucks. I have no idea how many people are watching right now, so it's about 3, I guess, myself included. So, whoever else is there watching, hello. Also, I forgot what version of the Fifine it's called. I think it's a T669. I think that's what they call it. So, I was reading up about it, and it was like only $75 for like the full kit. And it's like, you know, wow, that's a pretty big steal there for what apparently is a pretty good microphone. I wasn't asking for super chat about myself. Oh yeah, I mean, but still, you don't need to simp yourself. Just when it comes to VTubers, dude, it's like I'm sure there's like got to be other things, you know, like you should probably be able to like when it comes to VTubers, you'd like, I don't know, Streamlabs. You can't even do Streamlabs. Some VTubers have Streamlabs. I think Hanamakia has Streamlabs. Unless that's also included in Super Chat, like it's just a broad definition in your country. But I wouldn't simp if I were you, though. Just, you know, don't simp. You know, it's like, if you're going to donate money to somebody, like, unless you're rich or you're just fucking loaded, like $2 is enough every once in a while. You know, give some burger money to the Burger Fox girl, you know? She really likes hamburgers, right? So $2, okay? She can go to McDonald's. Let me just change the title of this goddamn live stream. Let me see. If I can even fucking figure out how to do that. Jesus. Let me see. YouTube Studio. Oh boy. Yeah. Perfect. I'm just gonna call it Talking VTubers and Video Games. There you go. Yeah, I have not streamed in like fucking forever. So it's like, forgive me if I'm a little rusty. In fact, I wasn't even really good at it. Like rusty, like a rustier than a rusty trombone. But yeah, Fubuki. Yeah, I think she had like a few videos where she was like eating a ham. You know, she really likes them. So, you know, give her a McDonald's hamburger, okay? You don't need to simp your goddamn left nutsack. I'm sure some people would, you know? Like they're that desperate. But it's not going to make them fall in love with you or something. It's probably just going to creep them out. I'd be pretty, what's a good word to look? I'll have to make one up. Like, I'd be pretty shazzled out if you were to, like, do that. No, that sounds like something, like, I'd be happy. Like, shazzled. You shazzled my dazzle. More like I'd be pretty, I don't know, I'd feel a little chunky in the throat, you know? A few chunks might be coming up. Just like, you want to give me your left nutsack. Okay. Pardon me while I go to the restroom. You just hear me hurling. But, yeah. I have not streamed in, like, forever. I mean, part of it is also, like, my microphone, you know? I've always had to, like, for the longest time, I've had to, hold it up to my mouth or whatever. And I really don't like, the Blue Yeti was the only one that had, like, the built-in mic stand, like, the one you screw into it, that was, like, tall enough to reach my mouth. You know, I bought, like, an Audio-Technica 2500, and that's what I've been using for the longest time. So it's like, you know, and it had good audio quality, just the mic stand that it came with is absolutely garbage. The Fine came with a mic stand. It's almost entirely the same, like, design, but it's, like, got metal in it instead of just plastic. And the USB port was, like, kind of loose, so I had to, like, wrap it around. But now that I've got, like, a mic arm, I'm really comfortable. I can just sit here and adjust it. And the Fine is seemingly so far pretty good when I was testing the recordings. But now I'm testing out the live stream. And I would be careful about selling your left kidney to Matsuri, okay? You probably haven't seen my VTuber video, maybe you did, but you'd be selling your left kidney to a demon. You know? What kind of VTuber goes around saying, I am God, okay? That's like straight out of like Book of Genesis shit. She's probably live streaming right from Jerusalem. Whew. Yeah. So, but yeah, the VV Tunia, or VVV Tunia. Triple V Tunia, you know, it had like VTubers in it. I think there's a guy I know, right, who's live streaming the game, and he just like has no idea about any of the VTubers, so he's just taking the time to absorb them. But yeah, I got a pretty good deal for that mic. I mean, yeah, it's probably still up there, you know. It seems like a kind of mic a lot of people don't know about, you know, so you could probably get one yourself. It comes with a foam windscreen or whatever, the protector or some shit that keeps like, and it has like a pretty solid like structure to the pop filter, right? So just screw it onto the mic arm and it's pretty good. You know, you can get the bee's knees trying to like trying to record like a line for Ruby. Redub Luby. Luby! Oh my god! I was gonna say Ruby, but I said Luby. Redub Lubies, yeah. Redub every Lubies commercial you've ever seen. Oh, shit. But, yeah. Redub Ruby and do the bee's knees with the pop filter. Barismok the Noob Artist. Hello, Mr. Noob Artist. How you doing? You wanna share your, artistry or whatever? Is that the name of your DeviantArt account, or maybe you're one of those special guys who's got like a Pixiv account or something? Yeah, we're just talking VTubers here, VTubers and video games like VVV Tunia with its VTubers. I know a guy. He's like live streaming that game every now and then, and he has no idea about any VTubers. So yeah. Yeah, in case you can't tell, I'm really trying to channel my inner Mr. Medicare with this drawing you're seeing. I traced over one of his like fucking backgrounds he had in a video. But yeah, man, if I could do something, you know, for anything for this channel related to VTubers, or just my second channel, because I made a pretty heavy-duty VTuber video that was like it was unlike anything I've ever made before. Oh shit. Okay, let me just open up another tab and get that VTuber video. The name I gave myself is Webster Dexter. I don't know why. It's just like, okay, whatever. There we go. Just save that for yourself sometime. It's like I said, it's heavy duty. You are not going to see many VTuber videos that involve rotoscoping. There you go. Watch that at your own leisure. It's like 43, I think, minutes long, or 45. I don't know how long, I forgot. So watch it, not during the stream, trust me. Just watch it when you have the chance. And just at least get to the 3-minute mark, right? Because the way it worked, right? The reason it took me forever to make that video was because I spent weeks rotoscoping an MMD dance, right? Where it's like of Tokinosura. She was doing this song called, I think, Alien, I think is what the name of it is, or something, some kind of Japanese memed up song, you know? But the MMD dance there's like a new movement almost every frame. And the way rotoscoping works, right, is go into After Effects, you take a brush tool called the roto brush, and you just paint over it, right, over what you want, and then you have to, and then it will on that first frame, right, it'll create a outline of what it thinks you want, and then you like have to adjust it by like doing like pressing a button to turn it into a red brush to like erase certain parts of the background out, you know, just to readjust it. And it's supposed to be a smart AI, but it's not really that smart, you know? It's not like some new crazy-ass AI tech that just just knows everything, right? So you have to do a lot. Like, I had to adjust shit every fucking frame. It got to the point where whenever I would, like, close my eyes, that pink outline that comes around, that's like the pink outline around what you want, I would close my eyes and I would still see that fucking outline. It gave me, like, temporary, like, just After Effects induced PTSD. So, and it was just for a small intro and one other part, which was like only a few seconds long. It takes that long just to rotoscope as much as I did. And then the rest of it is just scripting and trying to script like the flow of the video and trying to figure out interesting intros, because I went over the history of VTubers at first, and then I talked about how VTubers related to simps in some way. But yeah, the history of VTubers aspect, the history of it, like I would mention specific VTubers that led up to like Keys in the Eye eventually, and then Hololive and Niji Sanji. So for each specific virtual YouTuber, or who was considered a virtual YouTuber by certain people, I would have like a different kind of intro for each one. Like where it's like a song in the background and some kind of intro, like edit or whatever. So I had to work on that video for months alongside 2 other projects, which is like an animated series. If you've ever seen like Inferno Cop, it's that kind of animation. Not like full-blown animation, but you know, limited animation, or what TV Tropes refers to as clip art animation, where you take a single like static image and you mess around with it. I do know that Matsuri is a simp. Yeah, she acts like a simp quite a few times. Just you know, just don't follow her example, okay? $2 is all you need. You know, if you want to give Fubuki a hamburger to eat, give her $2, okay? Dollar menu at McDonald's. There you go. But yeah. When it comes to that VTuber video and the animated series, yeah. The animated series is like a... Well, it's not exactly stop-motion animation, because you don't actually move any body parts, right? Stop-motion involves, like, moving, like, parts and stuff. I mean, unless you want to consider bouncing a toy action figure around off of its feet, like, you know, just like a kid, to be stop-motion. I'd say 10 hamburgers is a little much. But, yeah. Stop-motion animation is, different in that it's like... The way Inferno Cop works is that it had one single image and it just went with that, right? Me, I kind of did that in the first episode. In the second episode, when I finished it, like, or when I started working on it, I made like custom assets, because I had like actual like fight scenes in it, you know? So I had to like kind of work some custom assets in there. And I involved certain characters from like other creators that like, or a character from another creator that I had to like, you know, that I went and like made some not facial animations, but facial assets, you know, expressions. So I've been working on that for like fucking forever right now. And I'm still waiting on somebody to make the trailer for the first episode, so that way I can release the first one after I make like an update. I'm trying to hype this shit up like crazy, you know, like as like not so much like the greatest thing you've ever seen, but the greatest thing I've ever worked on, right? So it's like the first episode is gonna have like a trailer for it, and it's gonna kind of, I guess it's supposed to give a hint of what you're in for. And the second episode, I actually collabed with a YouTuber who's a decent chunk bigger than me, so watch out for that one. Assuming you've subscribed already or something, I don't know. Maybe you haven't, maybe you have. But yeah. If you have, then I guess you got something to look forward to. If you haven't, then you might not be familiar with my content, so, you know. There's actually a story to it. I'll give you one spoiler. By the end of the first episode, anime becomes real, and I use that like context to set up a bunch of weeby fucking weeaboo shit, you know? Just random like comedy, you know, like not comedy, random comedy, but like random stories, and you know, like that I could make into chapters based around that context. It's going to be about like 3 police officers. 2 of them are stick figures, and one of them is the police chief. And he's actually the guy you're seeing on the screen right now. That's the chief. So, you know, the one standing in front of like all those VTubers and Neptunias, you know. So if you saw my like Neptunia waifu review, where I just went, it was supposed to be like an April Fool's joke, but I went and did it like a lot more than I normally would on an April Fool's joke because I missed April Fool's. So yeah, it's like I'm like the current title, like a prototype title, is the Weeaboo Police, but I'm trying to think of something else I could call it, you know. But for now, that's all I can really think of, because it's like such a weird plot that it's like, what else? What am I gonna fucking call it? You know, a name should kind of, I guess, give away some of what it's about, you know, but not too much, you know, because it's like I'm not trying to name it like a light novel, you know, where it's like the anime world has invaded the real world, and 3 police officers must, you know, live their daily life dealing with it. Like, no, that's fucking retarded. Dude, I'm not gonna fucking do that. That's horrible. That's one thing I hate about light novels, you know? Like, God, their names are total shit. You know, it's like in the words of AVGN, ass! You know, it's just, it's garbage. You know, trash, you know, that's what those are. Light novels, especially like the battle harems, you know? Trash! You know? It's like Giggix said, anime is trash and so am I. I have already thought of an idea involving VTubers for that animated series, but I would require like a collaboration with like a VTuber for that to work out. I mean, it's like, because I'm really trying to like do stuff with this animated series that I, you know, normally wouldn't do. Right? Like, there's gonna be like an episode intro, like not too long, not like an actual anime opening, but like just a short little intro with some kind of funny music and some kind of intro animation of like the heads kind of spinning around in 3D or whatever. And then at the end of every episode, oh, hold on a sec. Okay, I'm back. Jesus Christ, everybody's trying to get in the way. So, yeah, hello. 4 viewers, it says, so I guess I got somebody else in here. So, hi. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, a little gag intro. And then at the end of every episode, it would be like, there'd be an next episode preview. And I'm thinking, like, I maybe, like, if I can avoid copyright, you know, just do whatever. I'd pay somebody on Fiverr to, like, make a kazoo version of, like, the Evangelion next episode previews, you know, Jikai Yokoku, right? So it would be like an actual episode preview. So I'm trying to make it like kind of like an anime, you know, but since it's not fully animated, you know, it's like going to be like Inferno Cop or Ninja Slayer, but Ninja Slayer did have moments of like full animation, you know. And so there's that. Let's see what else. What else was I gonna say? But yeah, oh yeah. Hololive English, you know, US, maybe, but I mean, it depends. I have to actually like be able to like get a grasp on their sense of humor. I don't want somebody being like, "Oh, you want me to collab with you?" and then they just say no, and it turns out because it's like my sense of humor, you know. It's like kind of a disappointment when somebody has that much of a problem. So I'd have to find out what their sense of humor is like, you know. Like for example, like a Hosho Marin, right? Like she might be willing to do some kind of funny little lewd thing, you know, like play a character who's like really lewd. But you probably wouldn't expect her to like play a character who's making a bunch of political statements, you know? It's like that's not really what you watch VTubers for, you know, to hear a bunch of politics. You might hear them talk about like the coronavirus, right? God, I fucking almost bit my tongue there. Or like, as Raging Golden Eagle calls it, the beer virus. Yeah, I've already thought about like adding like at the end of every episode, you know, there's the episode preview is gonna have the next episode title maybe, but I can't really add it into the actual title because then it would be too long. It would be like god damn, it'd be like it would go past the normal YouTube like spacing, so it would be like you can't even see the title without like zooming out, pressing Control minus. So it's like I'd have to like think about the titles, and I'd have to like put like the title like after the intro, you know, and have the music kind of fade out, I guess. But yeah, so anyways, what's going on with all you guys? My 3 viewers now. Oh well. So what have you guys been doing? You guys been like just pissing around, just jerking off or something? Unless you're a girl, I don't know. Then you've been rubbing it. It's you know, that's usually what I do when I'm not doing anything. Or I'm just talking on Discord to some people sometimes. Suffering with the lack of content in the Indian Antitube. The Indian... I don't know anything about the Indian Antitube world, dude. When you say that, I just picture like, oh my god, imagine like either people Indian speaking Indian, you know, reviewing anime or doing something related to anime, or some Indian trying to speak English, like those camera or those tech reviewers who try to speak English, you know, and they're from India, like just hello and welcome to my channel. We will be talking about this anime called High School DD. Like just like I don't know. Either they're speaking Indian, you know, because it's their first language, or that's usually some guy who's not very good at speaking Indian. When it comes to like I've seen so many tech reviews or something. Like I saw a guy reviewing a camera that I bought recently, It's not here yet, but I bought it recently, and I saw a bunch of reviews, and god damn, I could not understand shit. It's like the accent was like so strong, to the point where it's like, to the point where it's like that one guy in Harold and Kumar Goes to White Castle. You know, the "Thank you, come again," except even a little bit worse, maybe. Oh yeah. Most of the channels are either Dragon Ball fans or just review channels. I mean, nothing wrong with being a Dragon Ball fan. It just depends on if, like, that's the only thing they know, you know? Is that the only anime they stan, you know? Is that it? I mean, and also review channels, it depends on what kind of review channel, you know? It's like I've made anime reviews, but it's like I completely script everything, right? But then you've got people who just sit in front of a camera about as nonchalant as, like, and just off the cuff as I am doing this live stream. Oh my god, my ear is itching. I'm surprised I've been going for like 38 minutes already. It feels like it's only been like 15. Jesus. It's like that's kind of the thing I just don't like seeing. Usually just people in front of a camera just talking, right? And then it's like, come on, man. Don't you want to like do better than that? You know, it's like, I'm pretty sure if you put a bit more effort into it, you could, you know, be like pretty big. You just gotta like wax on, wax off your creative mind, you know, just wax on, wax off. Oh, okay, they review it like they're Wikipedia. I don't know, maybe they just read off Wikipedia articles and just go like, yeah, just give some off the cuff like reaction. Like, especially if they're like episodic reviewers, oh my god, that's like the worst. Like, I can't be expected to invest my time in a channel that's reviews an anime and pads it out, you know, for like every chapter or every episode of like an anime or manga. Like, you know, if it's like, even if it's like 30 minutes long, I can sit there and watch it as long as it's not like just one single episode. I like it if it's like condensed information, you know? That's the kind of reviews I like because it usually has like better editing. Unless it's like some guy still sitting in front of a camera. Then it's just, you may as well make a podcast, you know? Which would probably not be too bad, you know? It's like, podcasts are usually pretty lucrative, you know? I mean, hell, look at H3. Leafy's worst enemy, his arch nemesis. H3, Ethan and Gila. Oh my god. Yeah, chapter reviews. That's really bad. Chapter. Yeah. But yeah, they could try like podcasts, you know, if they're just gonna talk, or like make it into a podcast, you know, you could like make some kind of money off of that, I'm sure. If you get big enough. You might have to like hype yourself up a bit there, like, you know, hype the channel up, be like, you're gonna get opinions you've never gotten before, you know, like, you know, maybe it's a little clickbaity, but maybe you could do that. I don't know. You know, I don't really care if somebody's like clickbaity per se, as long as it's not like just them getting away with it and nobody else, you know. It just, I like some consistency. Like if a YouTuber can put like practically nude titties in the thumbnail and get no shit for it, but then a bunch of others get like shit for it, like that ain't right, okay? Either none of it's okay or all of it is. Unless it's breaking the law. If it's just breaking the law, even if like everybody's on board with it, I mean, you got to go to jail, okay? You got to go to prison. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're working on a podcast. That might work. Yeah. Just don't be afraid to like hype it up. You know, you might have to be a little clickbaity to really get it out there. You know, just and also try to like collab with some anti-tubers that are like big enough, I guess. Like maybe like one or two. If you had like a team of 5, right? One or two you might want to have like some kind of clout going on with them. you know? And then, like, if you get big enough, then you can start, like, bringing on, like, smaller channels, you know? Like, channels smaller than you, right? I mean, unless you don't want to do that, then whatever. But, you know, it might be helpful, you know? Just help out the community. Not that I really care. It's like, one thing about, like, communities, especially on, like, YouTube, is a lot of them are really shit. Because most people don't really, like, agree on a lot of stuff, like, in order to be a community. But it's like, they can get along, you know? But it's like, it's different to getting along is different than actually agreeing, you know? It's like getting along could be like just being civilized about it. If you heard that, I am sorry. I'm bumping my fucking table. Trying to cross my legs here like I'm a goddamn Indian. You know, Indian crossed legs is what they call it, or whatever. Indian style. That's what they used to call it back in, like, when I was in school. Sitting down Indian style. Crossing your legs. Not like India. I don't know. Maybe it is. But all I remember is, like, they equated it to Native Americans. Yeah. The anime community has its fair share of drama. I made an entire video about antitube drama before. It was another video I put, like, a decent amount of effort editing into. It was a part of my ShitTube series. I scripted, like, a lot of shit, you know. It's like, that's how I used to do, like I started off doing Let's Plays, right? Then I moved on to doing commentaries, and now I just kind of do, like, whatever the hell I fucking want, you know? It's like, sometimes I do a live stream. Once in a blue moon, I do a live stream. I used to live stream all the time. But yeah, I made eventually I just started doing, like, certain things, you know? I have, like, a series called ShitTubes, and I made one, like, just meant to be, like, partly comedy, but, like, also partly kind of just giving out some general thoughts about a person or a YouTuber or a type of channel, you know, like reaction channels. Of course, the style of it evolved, but, you know, the core of it is still mostly the same, except for the antitube drama one. The antitube drama one I thought, like, legit needed to be said. Just, wow. Like, there was that whole, like, Digibro, you know, hating on Crunchyroll thing that got, like, for Neverworld, Yaro Sheehan, and, fucking Barack Obama getting on his case or some shit. And yet they tried to play it off like they weren't trying to play favoritism to Crunchyroll, you know, but truth is, all of them, except for maybe Yaro, were, like, maybe, I don't know, I think, but they were, almost all of them were invited to Crunchyroll Expo, and then they tried to, like, harp on Digibro, saying, oh, you're just mad that you weren't invited to Crunchyroll Expo now. And they tried to say that Crunchyroll isn't interested in working with a quote-unquote lolicon, you know? But, you know, in case you didn't hear, Crunchyroll was promoting a Prisma Ilia figure back in the day. You know, swimsuit. So, I mean, like, have you kept up with the times, dude? You know, and also it's like, For Neverworld tried to, like, debate Digibro's opinions on Crunchyroll with his, like, usage of the N-word on Twitter. And I'm like, really? You know, because he said the word nigga, and it's like, you know, because he's, like, some kind of rap enthusiast or whatever, but what does that have to do with his opinions on a user interface? Or, like, HTML5? Like, God, suck a fat dick, man. Jesus. It's like, and then they tried to talk about, like, High Guardian Spice or whatever. I went through, like, a history of antitube drama where it's like, okay, you had, like, the king of antitube drama for Double 4 Anime, right? What the fuck just happened to my Discord? I don't know. But yeah, you had, like, the king of antitube drama, right? Double 4 Anime going after the mighty god Filthy Frank. the god of degeneracy, Filthy Frank, versus the young, pale white boy, Double 4 Anime. There was that, you know? And you had, like, after that, you had, shit, what did I say? I think it, like, I can't even remember. Oh, yeah, okay, so For Neverworld versus Double 4 Anime was, like, the next one. And then I went over, like, the history of, Digibro and Monkey Jones, right? And he eventually got to the whole, like, High Guardian Spice and Crunchyroll user interface and just, like, HTML5 kind of thing. And I just went over, like how, like, shit it really is. Like, I remember, like, Digibro, right, himself, during the time he had, like, that drama with Gigguk or whatever, where it was, like, Gigguk responded to Digibro's, like, fucking dumb as shit video about, like, ranting about anime YouTubers while drunk or whatever. And it's like, you know, he lacked a lot of self-awareness. And then in, like, a follow-up video, or not a follow-up video maybe, but, like, during the video that he responded to Barack Obama, he mentioned, you know, Gigguk, and said, "It's like a TV show. It is not a fucking TV show, dude. You did not get with Gigguk and say, let's fake this drama. In TV, everything is fucking fake as shit." Okay, this is YouTube. People get into drama for no fucking reason other than they just want to, you know, beat the sandbag, I guess. I don't know what to say. But, they just, it's not a TV show. You know, it's, like, just dumb as shit. Nobody's going to want to sit there and, you know, watch you have your drama if it's going to last for, like, 40 minutes. You know, Digibro's original video was, like, 40 minutes long. And unless you're, like, a diehard fan, you're going to find it hard to sit there and watch 40 minutes of a guy just going on a rambling tangent. Especially when he lacks so much self-awareness. Like, pretty much every point he said could be used against him. But he's like, at the end of it, he's like, "I'm the greatest anime YouTuber. If you don't think so, fuck you." Well, I mean, the biggest mistake he could have done is, like, actually getting involved in the drama. But yeah, and Barack Obama himself, dude, the guy tries, like, tries to rail on the whole lolicon idea of being, like, an outlet or whatever, you know? Like, oh, lollies are outlets, right? Because, I mean, it pretty much is, in a way, you know? It's like everything can be an outlet. It's just, there's some outlets you can't have. Like, you can't have real kids be the outlet for a pedophile. Like, that's just wrong. So if you want to, like, give them an outlet for their urges, give them something fictional. But then Barack Obama tries to make the same outlet argument for video games. Oh, I play violent video games. You know, he tried to make the same kind of argument, you know. And I'm like it's like the pot calling the kettle black. Hypocrisy. Thy name is Barack Obama. It's like a lot of people on the internet, you know, a lot of them who are, like, big or have any kind of, like, large following lack a lot of self-awareness or the interest in seeing this lack of self-awareness. Like, for me, I know my audio is shit, you know? It's like people tell me, like, the audio mixing is terrible. Like, some people tell me that. Not everyone, but not even most, but, like, yeah, I get that, you know? It's like, I'm not the best at audio, you know? I'm not a professional. I just buy a mic and there you go. I don't even have acoustics foam, which I should probably get, but I don't want to spend any money on things that I don't feel that I need. I'm not trying to make a professional work. I'm just making stuff that I like to make. If people donate to my Patreon, even if they do that, I'm still going to be like, okay, well, I'm not going to become like some professional, you know, movie maker. I'm just like, I'm still making stuff that I really like to make. I might offer some tier goals, but at the end of the day, it's like, if I don't want to make something, I'm not going to make something, you know? Because I don't want to wind up like an angry Joe, you know? Promising, like, promises you can't really keep, you know? It's like, I'll make this kind of video every day, and it turns out that's all they want you to make, so you can't experiment, you know? Like, I can't deal with that. So, I've made it known from, like, the beginning, you know, the channel. Like, I do what I want to do, and I'm willing to take suggestions. But at the end of the day, you know, it's like, you know, like, you know, just, I have to like kind of do the thing I want to do. If people like it, people like it. If they don't, well, okay, you don't have to like it. You can do you can hate it. You can be disinterested. It doesn't matter. You do what you want to do. You know, it's just, that's kind of the thing, is like people don't realize that it's like, oh, hey, how's it going, Sweet Life of Dio Brando? Yeah, but as I was saying, that's something a lot of people like. In the Angry Joe case, you know, it's like when people were like railing on him for not making the videos they wanted him to make, it's like, yeah, you want him to make that kind of video. You know, the Angry Joe show. You're going to be like, I want him to make that. I'm going to keep pestering him because that's what I want to do. Right? But at the same time, the YouTuber himself is still a human being. So if he wants to make something different, let him fucking make something different. It's not gonna kill you. That's why I never promise actual like schedules, you know? Like I only live stream whenever the hell I feel like it. But I'm usually working on more like creative projects, you know, like stuff that requires scripting. Like a lot of it. So it's like I don't really sit there and just like live stream all the time because I feel like it's not really being creative. But if people were like to tell me like, oh, I want to see you live stream more often, you need to live stream, why aren't you doing a live stream? I'm like, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, I don't give a fucking shit. Okay, if you want live streams, go somewhere else. Suck my cock. Okay, I'm not gonna live stream for somebody just because they want me to. You know, like, unless somebody's, like, dying of cancer and the only thing that could, like, make them happy is a live stream, I'm not going to sit there and live stream for somebody just because they want me to. If it has some kind of meaning or purpose behind it, sure, I might do it. But if it's just to, like, if it's just going to distract from what I really want to make, you know, I'm not going to do it. Right now, like, I'm testing out a new microphone on live stream, which is a purpose to it, you know? It's like when I do feel like live streaming, especially, you know, I'm live streaming now because like the fucking microphone I had was an ATR 2500 whose mic stand was broken. So I had to like plug in a microphone, right? And just have it the cord wrapped around it. Jesus Christ, my computer is telling me like I have no memory left. What the fuck? Let me see. Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, how you doing, Sweet Life of Dio Brando? So I got a new microphone, and came with a pop filter, windscreen, mic arm, so you know the works, yeah, shock mount. So yeah, I might live stream more often now because I can actually sit down and kind of be comfortable, you know, without like holding the fucking microphone up to my face. Just like I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm not a stand-up comedian, okay? That's killer on my arm. Okay, I'm not Bill Burr, okay, who's gonna have like a broken mic stand walking around shitting all over Philadelphia. And I wouldn't even call it lucky that I got this mic stand and mic arm. It was a deal. A Fifine T669 mic kit on Amazon went for like $75. So it's like, and they still probably have more of them. You just now finished Higurashi Season 1? What took you so long? Born in the wrong generation? I mean, I figured since you subscribe to Unknown, you probably know, like, Rika Fag, so he probably, like, would be screaming at you to watch Higurashi. Or to play it, especially, you know, play the game. Play the game, then watch the anime. I mean, I figure maybe, you know, just maybe you didn't care about it, but, you know. It's been out for a while, dude. Holy shit. It's 2020 now. There's the trash. I have no idea, but my nutsack is itching like crazy. I have no idea why. And pardon my French, you know. I mentioned my nutsack, but I don't really care. So. Ow. Jesus. Oh boy, but yeah. So yep. VTubers, video games, that's what this stream is about, aside from some random shit, but yeah. How about you, Sweet Life of Dio Brando? You watch any VTubers? You watch them Kiryu Kokos with you know, big titty dragon girls with tails that you can unplug from their asses? Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, VTubers are really a hell of a thing, you know? It's like, it's like absurdist humor, you know? Just the stuff they'll say, you know? Like, somebody, like, asking Kiryu Coco about, like, feet compilations on X video. And she's just like, you know, feet compilation? What the fuck is a feet compilation? The only X video compilation I know about is a cream pie compilation. And she legit said that. Yeah, well, I mean, let me put it to you like this: as long as something is entertaining enough, I don't mind. I don't consider them the same tier of e-thought as, like, say, Alinity. At least they can be entertaining, but Alinity, I wouldn't say that. They don't feel like they care much about their fan base. Like Inugami Korone, she spends the time to read every super chat name by the end of the live stream. It's pretty much like just a lot better than, say, somebody who doesn't really give two shits. And yeah, in the case of Metamorphosis, a lot of people just overhype it because of the meme. It's not overhyping on purpose. I think it's just part of the meme, you know? Nothing's, like, usually as hype as, like, people will say, and especially if it's, like, part of a meme, you know? But, you know what they say, the meme must go on, so... It's just, like, I mean, it's fucked up, but it's not like the most fucked up thing that you've probably ever seen. What do I think about Yu-Gi-Oh? I mean, dude, I fucking grew up watching that when I was a kid, you know? Grew up watching the old school, you know, just... Exodia! It's not possible! Nobody could summon him! Exodia! Obliterate! You know, back in the day, when it was like you had 4Kids TV, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, and 5Ds, and then that was like I watched a few episodes of every other one, but I didn't really give too much of a shit after that. It was just like, you know, like, I don't know. It's just at the time I would have much rather to, you know, played the card game or played a video game about the card game than watching the anime. But, you know, just nobody. Oh yeah, season 0. Yeah, the Dark Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, well, also it's just like, dude, you want to know what will really, like, ruin your opinion of Yu-Gi-Oh? The English dub, the first Duel Monsters season, you know? Oh my god, Dan Green voiced, like, I think he voiced in a few hentai, right? And one of them was like where he was like telling to a girl that he was doing it with, just smashing. It's just like, now cluck like a chicken, and she legit was just went like bark 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 bark. It was like the most fucking retarded shit I'd ever seen at the time. Yeah. I mean, dude, after Takahashi left, I didn't even know he left, but yeah, okay. Like, one thing to note is, like, they really kind of moified up the designs of, like, the girls, you know? Like, there was a touch of moe, I guess, in, like, the older designs, like in Duel Monsters Season 1, maybe, but it was, like, they really started softening up the features, you know? on like the face, like the eyes or whatever. It's like compare like Taya Gardner season 1 Duel Monsters to what was her name, Yuzu Hiragi, I think, from like arc V or arc 5 or whatever. And then the way what they did, I think they upped the bust on Alexis and arc Alexis or Asuka on like arc V. Like they had like Duel Monsters GX Alexis in like a different version or whatever. I guess, I don't know. It's like, but she got like a tit upgrade or something. Like, God, they made her pretty good looking. I'll say that. She was already good looking, sure, but just wow. Yeah. Let me get a picture of her. Let me just see. Like, you can see it, right? Like, okay, so let me just get this little picture going if I can fucking get it to work. It's taking fucking forever. Hello there, Dude, I can't even read that name. I'm just gonna... MN. I'm just gonna call you Mega Man. How's it going, Mega Man? My Chrome is acting up, so... I don't know if it's my internet or my Chrome. I might be, cut off soon. I don't know why. Alright, there we go. Fucking Ghostery. Ghostery always does this shit. But yeah, I think I'll call you Mega Man, since I don't know your know how to pronounce that name. Whatever that is. Oh, okay. So, take a picture. Come on, Alexis, smile for the camera. It'll fucking work, Jesus. No, come on. Alright, whatever. This is really... Okay, there we go. It's a really low quality image, but, let me see. Right there. Yeah, like, look at that, right? You see, like, Alexis there, right? That's Alexis in GX, right? But then you've got Alexis in Arc... like Arc V, Arc 5, whatever you want to call it. And her features became like more like a bit different, you know? Could be like, let me see. There we go. Yeah, like, look at that. Just like, look at that. And the open shirt too just made her, I guess, look. They upped the sex appeal by having her that open shirt there, showing even more of her like curvature, I guess, in a more like maybe a more realistic way. I don't know. The way they drew like the tits in GX were like kind of weird. I have no idea. But yeah. So there we go. No, shit, I disappeared. Oh no, I vanished. I instant transmissioned out of life. There you go. Yeah, so that's just you know, whatever. But yeah. Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh was something else. So anyways, how about you guys? How you doing so far? Sakura, right? And Mega Man. I'm gonna call you Mega Man. I'm just gonna keep calling you that. I don't know why. I just can't. Aside from not being able to pronounce your name, it's the first initials. So, Mega Man and Sakura. There you go. Or I could call you Meguman. You're a fusion of Megumin and Mega Man. Meguman. Instead of explosions, you have a fetish for charge shots. I mean, it could still sound pretty wrong, but, you know. But yeah, I don't know. That's it. You know, it's life, I guess. You come up with a name that nobody can pronounce, and then just start coming up with random nicknames. Yeah. 67 minutes live stream. It's a nice little test, I guess. Might go on for a little bit longer, but yeah. Oh, you're making an analysis on Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, you know, you do what you got to do. I'm not too much the kind of guy who'd probably make an entire analysis on Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not the kind of guy who could sit there and, you know, be like a digibro and just speak like fluently like I'm about like some existential like terminology and all that shit, you know. Just every now and then I might spice up my vocabulary, but I don't really write scripts to sound like I'm smart or something. I mean, come on, look at me. Like, I've got a fucking... I just basically ripped off Mr. Medicare, you know, his avatar. You know, in that one kind of picture he's got going on. Just to channel my inner Mr. Medicare. You know, since he's pretty much gone now. You know, it's like... He's gone for... He's probably going to be gone for like a good 15 years, maybe. Not 15 years. He's been doing this shit for 15 years. You know, he's been leaving for a good long while. And then he comes back, so... I'm just going to take whatever avatar he had from this generation, and there you go. He'll probably have something different for the next generation. You know, it's like he used to have that ugly ass like picture of that guy with the shitty ass like wig when he was the internet aristocrat. So he's had a few avatar changes, we'll say that. And then he had like that ugly yellow emoticon, the emoji. Oh boy, yeah, in case you didn't know, I vape. You can unsubscribe now because I vape. Vape Nation, bro. Honestly, just sometimes it becomes hard to sit here and script and, you know, edit. I need something to cut the edge off. Especially during quarantine, you know? It's like when people are still just kind of staying indoors. Just, oh god. You can't like walk outside and just get a breath of fresh air without feeling like somebody's like an Asian spitting in your mouth. You know, because that's the way people make it seem. Like, if you go outside, you could get sick, you know, you get the beer virus. Viral beers will go in your mouth. What is a fucking Wuhan Asian gonna spit in my mouth or something if I go outside? It's like a folk tale, you know, the folk legend of the Wu flu, the monster who has the Wu flu. You better not go outside, little kids. This fucking pandemic is just like a lot of people overhype it, you know, especially like a lot of the politicians. They overhype the shit out of it. It's like then the CDC comes out and is like, oh, 94% of cases who died while having COVID, underlying conditions. Only 6% actually died strictly from COVID. Like, yeah, okay. That's what the CDC says, at least. You know, it's just like, I'm not saying you should have never done any kind of lockdown, or that you shouldn't have lasted as long as it did, you know? Like, this shit was nothing compared to what the media made it out to be. I mean, apparently, according to some sources, Russia made a vaccine already that apparently shows no signs of side effects, and it seems to develop antibodies pretty quickly. So it's like, if Russia could develop a vaccine for it that quickly, it's like, maybe China's little bioweapon, you know, that is also China-made, you know, doesn't last too long. Oh god. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah. I still haven't heard back from you, Mega Man. Or Megu Man. What's up with you? You only just pop in to say sup and then you leave? Excuse me. Ugh. Yeah, maybe next time when I get my camera, you know, not my webcam, but it's a DSLR, right? But I've heard you can use that as a webcam too. Maybe next time I'll put my little face on the screen, you know, as well, looking as obnoxious as possible. Like sometimes I'll wear a fucking beanie, right, and these ugly pair of sunglasses or something, or a pair of aviators, and just like wear a pair of headphones like I'm some hippie little creep. You know? The kind of guy who drinks soy lattes. That's like the only coffee they drink is something with soy in it. Everything's got to be soy. I'm gonna become a bona fide soy boy. You know, as they call them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so Sweet Life of Dio Brando. You still there? If so, what else is new with your life? Besides Higurashi Season 1. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, okay, you joined the Discord. Nice. Yep. Yeah, boy. Oh, Monogatari. Yeah. I don't really care that much for Monogatari, but I found some of the scenes, you know, involving what's her fucking name, the cat girl, to be you know, pretty spicy, you might say. Might have even found a few animated off-brand. You've been watching Kenshin. Huh. Rurouni Kenshin, right? Yeah. Rurouni Kenshin, that's a classic one. I was in Nux's Discord like not too long ago. Some guy just had the worst list possible of anime he has yet to see, or anime he just dropped or whatever. Everybody was like railing on him. Yeah, that's the one thing about anime. It's like, even if it's trash, you probably can find a good doujin or two about it. It's the best thing about anime, the doujins. Yeah, if there's one thing I always enjoy doing is finding good doujins. Oh, you just watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and the original FMA. The FMA anime or the FMA manga? Like, because the original FMA anime was, like, interesting. Oh, you're the same as you were last year, huh? Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of good anime from, like, 30 years ago, I'm sure. Although there's probably also quite a few, like, really shit ones, like just terrible dubs or terrible animation. Alright, the original FMA anime. Yeah. But yeah, it's like from 30 years ago. Man, 30 years ago was like the 70s. It's like the original Getter Robo Mazinger Z. Pretty sure that's like early 70s, early to mid 70s, you know, for that stuff. You know, it's like older anime like Devilman, you know. Although they had like really shitty dubs. So shitty that like Sea Dog VA decided to redub them. I don't even really care about visual novels. I tried playing like one, I think, like a long time ago. I forgot which one it was, but it was like so boring. Just sitting in my chair, right? Like I can't get up and walk away and just be like still reading it. With anime, I can kind of understand a little bit, you know, what's going on with my bare bones basic bitch understanding of like spoken Japanese. Kingdom dub is funny. Okay. Oh god, the Fate Stay Night visual novel, huh? Yeah. By finished, assuming you mean played through all the routes. Yeah, that's it's not my cup of tea. The writing is also not exactly my cup of tea. The writing's also not my cup of tea, really, so you know, but the animes though, when they made like Unlimited Blade Works, Heaven's Feel, you know, the animation like is still nice to look at, and, you know, still fun to watch. So, dude, it's like fun to watch, you know, like as an anime. Like for me, it's like I really like visual mediums, you know, because I've got a lot on my mind. I don't want to sit there and have to visualize for somebody else every little in between of like a fight scene or every other scene, you know. I've got other things to think about. Yeah, and I think Carnival Phantasm had like a parody of those Taiga Dojo things, where Taiga would just be in her dojo introducing all kinds of like funny little quips or whatever. Dude, the Nasu verse is like fucked up, you know. It's like not, I don't even care like about being fucked up like in fucked up, but it's like the lore is just so all over the place. Like for example, Lancer, you know, is like his spear realistically should always chase its target. If you block it or something and it lands in the ground, it should just get out of the ground and start chasing after you. But it like literally doesn't. Like Saber, if I remember correctly, she blocks it, she survives, it should be chasing her for the rest of her life. So it's like the lore doesn't even follow, it's like the narrative doesn't follow the lore, you know? Yeah. There is quite a few anime that I find hard to like relate to. I still find it entertaining, but it's like I'm not really going to be invested, you know, just I'm not going to invest my time in Mr. Generic McFuckernuts, you know, who's just like, "Oh, woe is me. I'm just a normal high school boy who's a nice guy with a normal high school life," or reverse the genders and it's still generic and unrelatable. Like I'm not a normal high school boy, okay? I'm not even in high school anymore. I'm way past that. So I'm not going to sit there and watch a normal high school life anime, you know, just on average. I might every now and then watch it if it's got like a good amount of comedy, but that's about it. Yeah. Like Full Metal Panic, right? I can't really relate to the main characters necessarily, but maybe, but it's like it's still hilarious to watch, you know. It's like Full Metal Panic, Fumofu, right? That one especially to me, it's just like it's hilarious to watch it. Just seeing like whatever his name is going into a dojo to fight three guys, and he just busts out like a shorty shotgun. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist, shit, probably Jaden. I mean, I found him the most entertaining. I didn't think he was maybe he wasn't the most well written to some people, but I just found him entertaining. Yugi was like just, you know, he had an okay character arc, you know, it was like character growth, but I think there's a few times where they just reuse his like shyness as like a plot point maybe, or he just seems a little too shy. Like after the Duelist Kingdom arc, he should be like a bona fide like nuts dropped kind of kid. Like, okay, yeah, I'm ready for this stuff. I ain't gonna cry about that kind of shit. My grandpa's soul just got taken. But I think just in pure entertainment value, you know, who I would prefer to watch an adventure with, probably Jaden. And like unironically, for 5Ds, like I legit just like I thought Aki was pretty hot, you know. And what was her name? Sherry was kind of hot, you know, pretty hot. Long blonde hair, probably had decent tit size, you know. And then the rest of it was just like, okay, it's not too bad. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, so it's not a bad experience. But after that, I just stopped caring, you know. Like especially after that movie, you know, involving like Yugi, Jaden, and what Yusei, I think is the name, all in like one movie. But I also think like Yu-Gi-Oh after like season 1 really screwed the pooch, because it's like, how are you gonna what are you gonna do besides Egyptian gods, you know? And then you have Harakathy, the creator of light, right? That's her name. And it's just like really? You'd think the creator of light would be like there to defend the world from like pretty much all this evil shit. But I guess like she's just a creator of light, you know? She's the perfect match for like Zork, but nothing else. Dragons? Oh shit, you're shit out of luck. I can't help you there. The only thing I can do is make it a little bit too bright for them to see. It's kind of like what happened with like, you know, not necessarily, but like with the way, if you believe the fans, you know, who just adhere to the whole ideology that Arceus and Pokemon is the god of everything, you know, then they really screwed the pooch after any later entries. You know, it's like, me personally, Arceus, he's not a fucking god of everything, okay? Maybe the god of Pokemon, you know, like the actual creatures, maybe he like created every one of them, I don't know. Or like the god of all types or whatever, but that's about it, okay? You can't explain to me why Arceus would create Pokemon that all have some kind of similarity to him, but then you have humans who bear no fucking similarity. Okay, he's not the creator of humans, that's for sure. There's got to be like another god who did that. Bidoof with a knife created Arceus. I mean, I guess. Season 1. You mean season 0, right? Where they go to hell because they lost a card game? Because that's when they actually started going to hell. You know, like Yugi straight up would just banish people to hell for losing any kind of game. But in the case of like duel monsters, the most you'd see is like a mind crush. And it's like not even like hell, it's like, because you don't get away from hell. Once you go into hell, you don't get out. Like it's the devil that puts you into hell, not some like, you know, mystical item that has like a portion of a demon's power, you know. And then it just puts you in some kind of illusion world. Like when you go to hell, your body goes with you probably. Oh god, the Sacred Beasts, you know, they were okay, I guess, but really, couldn't they come up with something different? Because the Sacred Beasts were just the Egyptian gods 2.0, you know, in terms of design. And yet nobody brought attention to the fact that, oh my god, those are the Egyptian gods, aren't they? But it's like, nope, they're not the Egyptian gods. They may look like them, but they're not the Egyptian gods. Nope, nope, they're not the gods, nope. GX had, like, their equivalent to Shadow Games, but if I remember correctly, like, Shadow Games were pretty much just like a, Egyptian world kind of thing, you know, Millennium Items kind of thing, but they had their, like, own equivalent. And then they had that one guy who tried to pretend like he had a real Millennium item. It's like, oh, I have a Millennium puzzle, but it's really just smoke and mirrors. Like, really? Smoke and mirrors make me think that my fucking arm is vanished and I can see right through it? Absolutely not. You have to be like an absolute, complete ignoramus to fall for that. The weird monster behind the card was the villain? I don't know about being behind the card, unless you mean like a... Because Night Shroud was like the final villain of GX. That was like the... And I don't think he was a card. You know, he's not a card you could play or something. Night Shroud, you know, he's like the guy who possessed Atticus. Or whatever the fuck his Japanese name is. Yeah. Hello there, hold up. Yeah, I guess so. You're walking into a very nonchalant, off the cuff roasting of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon theology. Yeah. Just you know. Oh, Pokemon. Arceus is the god of everything, didn't you know? Have you not heard the word of our Lord and Savior, Arceus Christ? Our Christ-Ceus? No, I haven't. Why the fuck does Arceus look like more like a Pokemon, but looks nothing like a human? He looks like a goddamn pony. And yet humans look nothing like him. Like, there's got to be something else going on there, okay? He's not the god of everything, alright? And even if he was the god of the entire Pokemon universe, you always see, like, people trying to say Arceus could beat somebody like Beerus, right? And if we believe, like, Death Battle with their Beerus versus Galaxia battle, you know, with their calculations on, like, how big a universe is in, like, Dragon Ball, that guy is destroying at least, like, 9 universes. Okay, he's destroying Arceus, like, 9 times over at least. Would I watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal? Probably not. Unless you could find me, like, a really hot, you know, anime girl from there, who's not, like, a, you know, an underage little girl, then, I probably wouldn't watch it. Unless you could somehow convince me that the writing isn't really bad. Oh yeah, Chaz it up. Yep, Chaz it up. Chaz it up! Or, you know, as the Japanese would call it, Manjome Thunder. Ain't got nothing on the great meme, you know, the meme Chaz it up. Yeah, that's what a meme, you know? Gotta Chaz it up. All the way to 11. Just imagine, like, somebody made a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX game and they made a parody of the Majima Everywhere system in Yakuza Kiwami. Chaz everywhere, Chaz it up. Where it's just Chaz everywhere. And you have to duel him each time he finds you. Oh, that would be horrible. I would hate Chaz after that. I'd be like, okay, you know what? Our little history together where the whole Chaz it up, suck a dick. Okay, get out of my face. This is like the millionth time I've had to duel you in like 30 minutes. Dude. I would say when it comes to Dragon Ball Super, the writing isn't always like terrible, but are like really big moments. You know, it's just Dragon Ball. You know, it's just Dragon Ball in general has those kinds of moments. Like, you know, oh, Dragon Ball with the rock being tossed, Dragon Ball Z, rock being tossed at Goku's head, and he's like, "Ow, damn it!" You know, it's just like, you know, Dragon Ball Super, it had like Goku getting shot in the arm, Krillin getting shot in the arm, and yet Goku took about the same amount of damage when he was a kid. You're telling me he went from a power level of unmeasurable in numbers to like what, 80 or something, or to like being a power level of 20 or 30, you know, because I think that's what he had like back in the day. All it takes is like a power level of 10 or to 20 to block a bullet. Yeah, I would say the Goku Black Arc had its like high moments, but it also had like some low moments, you know. Tournament of Power is just like, it was too long, you know, for like what it was. Like, it's like, unless you have something like a legit tournament arc and you write it like the Dark Tournament from Yu Yu Hakusho, it's just not gonna be that great. There are some moments, you know, where it's entertaining, you know, like the animation is actually pretty good in like the Goku versus Jiren fights. But, you know, and, you know, just like just certain moments, you know. I mean, if you're being serious about the Mr. Popo thing, like, you know, this ain't Dragon Ball Z abridged, okay? I hope you're not legit, like, going with that. I mean, if you like Dragon Ball Z abridged, that's fine. Abridged Popo pretty much is, you know, beats all of abridged everything. Unless they come out and, unless they decide to start making Dragon Ball Z abridged again. You know, and start coming out with, like, Dragon Ball Super and reveal something like Beerus was the one who trained Popo. So it's, instead of Popo's rules of training, it's Popo's rules of training based on Beerus's rules of training, you know? Imagine you just see him, like, you expect him to be, like, there, like, keeping Beerus in check, but then it's like he just starts pissing his pants. It's like, oh my god, Lord Beerus, what are you doing here? Because how are you going to write off, like, the dragon being that scared of Beerus? If Popo is stronger than Beerus, you know, then the Eternal Dragon should feel fine. It's like, oh god, it's you. Huh. Like, you shouldn't be scared of Beerus then, if Popo could just beat the shit out of Beerus. But yeah, with the Dragon Ball, it's like, and especially in like the animation department, Dragon Ball has always had like its high moments and low moments. Like, nothing in Super, except for maybe Episode 5, ever like comes close to some of the shit I've seen in the original Dragon Ball Z, you know, like, there's certain moments of the Goku versus Cell fight that look like it was animated by a legit toddler. Like, or at least the art style, right? The art style looks horrendous in some scenes, you know, like there's this one where Goku is fighting like 4 copies of Cell, you know, and he's just like, you know, like doing these weird motions, you know, that just look so unnatural and just retarded. Like, he looks like he's got Down syndrome. Like an anime character with Down syndrome. And the movements are so, like, just rigid and... ugh. And yet people always, like, when they compare Dragon Ball Super's animation, it's shit animation versus Dragon Ball Z's godly animation. They point to movies, you know? Movies, really? So now we're gonna you're telling me that movies don't have, like, a higher budget towards animation, right? That Dragon Ball Super Broly was animated about as well as Dragon Ball Super Episode 5. Like, there are moments in Z that are better than Super, but, like, the animation will just never really be that good. Yeah, since when do I live stream? Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'll try, like, Iar. Iar. Hello, Iar. Yeah, that's your name, I guess? I don't know. ER? ER? It's like, instead of Eeyore, it's ER. But yeah, since when do I live stream? I don't fucking know. Dude, it's fucking Satoshi Tajiri probably doesn't even speak, like, English. I have no idea. Maybe he does, but he probably wouldn't want to waste his time listening to something that's not his native language. It just sound like, you know, like those you know, Charlie Brown and the Peanuts Gallery or whatever it's called. You just like wah 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 wah. Just like imagine that, like in Pokemon, they just reveal there's like a god of humans, and he walks in like riding on top of Arceus like a horse, you know. What I always wondered is like, what the fuck happened to like regular animals in Pokemon? Like, what are you, like animal haters or something? Iar. It's probably foreign, you know. Either that or some kind of like, you know, just name you came up with. But yeah, it's like Iar. I don't know, maybe it's Indian, maybe it's Slavic or something. I have no idea. But when I see a name I can't pronounce, I always try to like give it like a kind of a twist to it, you know, because I figure that usually it's like, what am I gonna ER? Is that your name, ER? You know, it's like that, like some American like stereotype that they can't pronounce any kind of names. So just say like, yo, how's it going, ER? At least your name isn't like that one black guy like that. I think he's from Uganda, but he has that like name like, my name is what the fuck, goddamn. Yeah. Yeah, it's been fucking forever since I live streamed. Like, I can't even remember when the last time I live streamed was. Like, if I actually go back in, like, my history or whatever. Go to my channel. The last time, like, I actually live streamed and not, like, that failed test live stream where I tried to stream Doom 2016. It lasted for like a minute and 13 seconds because it was just like, okay, this ain't working, you know? Last time I live streamed was... Wow, about a year ago. Yeah. Like, right after, like, I made this little meme if Shaggy was an MK11. Let me just pause the music real quick. I'm just pull that up real quick. The video one. There we go. Take a look at that. You get a front row seat to the history of my channel, to the past. Open them out between the gums. Hold on, let me turn that up. There we go. Blow out your eardrums.
Open them out between the gums. Look out, stomach. Here it comes. Open them.
Yeah. Ages. Holy shit. Okay. What the fuck? Oh yeah, Rape Man. There we go. Rape Man. My Discord has like Rape Man on it. Like a fucking like little meme picture I made. Let me turn that music back on. Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay, the Pokemon manga is better than the anime. Okay, sure. I mean, I don't read it too often, but I'll take your word on that. It's actually the name of one of the months in Israel. It also means light in some ancient language. Okay. Yeah. I don't know anything about Israel other than I think Jerusalem is in there, and that the devil will appear in Jerusalem and proclaim himself as God. Oh, you're gonna say it. What are you gonna say? Heimdall 23. Are you gonna say a certain word? Are you going to attack the president? Is that what you're doing? You're gonna make it that Mr. and Mrs. Obama have to get down. Or are you gonna say that Shaggy is actually just not even using like 2% of his power in that scene? Is that what you're gonna do? I'm busy reading some manga and anime. Oh, that's nice. I mean, I figured. Am I going to cover the complex and meticulously, you mean? The meticulously crafted lore of Sword Art Online and their fully fleshed out three-dimensional characters? No, not really. I mean, Digibro already did that. A lot of people already did that. Hell, fucking Mother's Basement, you know, soy-drinking Mother's Basement already did that. I'm not gonna fucking do that. Unless I feel like it. I mean, if you want me to fucking roast it, that's like... just... I mean, what am I gonna say that hasn't already been said? Oh yeah, there we go. Somebody should make a video talking about the meticulously crafted lore of Sword Art Online doujins. You know, it's like, when it comes to doujins, it's, you know, it's like... I think it's just... It is decent, I guess, you know, just... I didn't really care too much to read about, like, a main character that I don't really fucking care about, you know? I just want to fap and go on with it, you know? It's like every time I have to see his pudgy little face, I'm just like, oh god, come on, really? I can't relate to this guy. You are an SAO? What is that? Is like, are you like Setsuna F Seirei in Gundam? He's like, I am Gundam. I am a Gundam. I am an SAO. I'm a Sword Art Online. We're all Sword Art Onlines. If you are an overly hyped main character who does nothing but gets everything, then you are a Sword Art Online. I've seen like a few seasons of Monogatari. It's not really that impressive to me, you know. It's not. I don't really get the hype behind it. It's, you know, it's okay. It's decent, I guess, you know, for visual stuff and some of the visual humor maybe. But it's not really just. It's not my main cup of tea, you know. It's like I mainly just fapped to like what, that cat girl. Like there was some animated off-brand that I found, you know, some gelburu.com stuff, you know. Like somebody animated an actual like sex going on, and that's about it. I don't watch it like, oh yeah, this is the shit. This is what I need to watch. I probably spend more time watching YouTube videos, you know, talking about anime, because it's like the editing on like some of these YouTube videos is like crazy. And being that I'm like an editor slash YouTuber, I kind of like to learn new tricks editing, so. Like, Monogatari is definitely full of a lot of cringe, you know, like the toothbrush scene, you know, it's just like, really? Oh my god. Oh, isn't that like your sister or some shit? Ooh. I guess this pop filter is pretty good. Can't really feel my breath breathing on it, so. Yeah. Oh yeah, and also like just Monogatari, it's got the gorilla hand girl. You know, she's got a gorilla arm. Like Jesus Christ, can you imagine that? Like getting a hand job from a girl like that? Hey, you want a hand job from my gorilla arm? I'll give you a gorilla job. It's like, yeah, no, I'm good. I have no idea what Nux's streams are like, so aside from like seeing some of his rant cafes, I don't know. Is just like, what is it like? Just crazy batshit insanity, where they're just constantly like randomly talking about anime, just going all balls to the wall crazy. It's like, yo, that shit was crazy. You know, that moment in One Piece when Zoro, you know, stuck the sword up his ass and stuck the other one down his throat like a magician and then shoved the other one up Luffy's ass. Like, I don't know what his streams were like. Oh, Great Teacher Onizuka. That one I like. I've seen that one. I like them when they're like, they got their own touch of insanity, but it's still like down to earth, you know? Like in terms of entertainment value. I don't know if I've never like done an actual reactions, okay? I've never done reactions. Like, I'm not in a reaction channel, okay? It's like, it is so unfulfilling. Like, personally, I would never do reactions. I mean, there's some reaction channels that are okay to watch, you know, and some that are, you know, not too bad. But, like, you know, it's basically him trolling everyone with tons of people. It also revolves around a Billy cult. A Billy cult? What the fuck is a Billy cult? Like, what? Is he, like, a cultist worshiper of Billy from Billy and Mandy? Like, what the hell, Billy? What, is it a cult of, like, beating the shit out of people with billy clubs or something? Like, he just watches videos of police beating the shit out of people with a billy club? I mean, I don't really care if everyone starts doing something as long as they all put, like, a bit of effort into it, you know? It's like, as long as, you know, for example, everybody's making memes, but lots of memes are still created with, like, some decent effort, you know? It's like like a lot of those Mio Honda memes, right? Like, oh, a Mio Honda commits war crimes. It takes some kind of editing effort at least, you know? The problem is, like, when people start doing it, they don't actually put the same effort that made, like, those other people bigger. So he just forms a cult around Billy and Mandy, huh? Oh, you do dubs, huh? What, like fan dubs? Or do you actually, like, dub actual anime? Who knows, maybe I'm talking to somebody who's actually, like, voiced those, cringy anime quotes from, like, C-Dog VA trying to fix anime dubs. Well, let me see, my avatar. If you're talking like my actual YouTube avatar and not the one that you're seeing on screen, then it was inspired partly by Samus and another by like Sunred, Tentai Senshi Sunred. Just the helmet designs, you know, and like the visor. But yeah, also like the avatar you're seeing on like the screen or whatever is like, he's not based on like Samus. I mean, I'm more like, since I was playing like Doom 2016, I think at the time. Like I was playing it and then I stopped playing it for a while and then I guess I got rid of it off my computer maybe. I don't know. It was either Doom 2016 or Doom 64 or something. So, you know, just... And then I added the whole like venting to like the mask, the face, like the mouth or whatever, and like the part on the ear. It's like meant to be like a communication system, you know? He's supposed to be like a police chief, you know? because I'm working on like an animated series that's gonna have like, it's so far it's got 2 episodes, and the first episode, by the end of it, anime becomes real. So the police have to like kind of figure out like what to do on all these different adventures involving anime in real life, like a funny little series of videos. It's gonna be animated like Inferno Cop, right? Or Ninja Slayer, when Ninja Slayer isn't doing like full animation, because sometimes it does do full animation. It's just not always, you know. TV Tropes calls it clip art animation, and other people call it limited animation. I mean, I guess you could call it like static motion animation, because nothing else is moving, just a static image being moved around in different places, you know. And I did create like custom assets for like the second episode though, so like pose changing. Oh, you were an early Nux sub, before the fappening of the greatest plots in hentai. Yeah, when I did those videos for him, and it was like the first 3, you know. So it was, and then it was just like, huh. The first one really started getting a lot of views, and just he started really I guess, getting much closer, like over a million eventually, you know. I remember like I did his like 500k subscriber special, but like nothing like that I had worked on had gotten that kind of view for him, you know. Just like he got like close, like in only a few hours maybe, or a few days, he got close to 1 million views. Oh, game theory. I don't really care much for them, but I like the editing they do sometimes. I don't think Nux would want to reveal his face to begin with. He'd probably, if that was to be agreed upon, like if I got 10,000 likes on that and that was like the actual condition, you know, and the condition was to arm wrestle me, he'd probably wear like one of those zipper hoodies that zip all the way up so you can't see his face, and just plaster like a cutout of his like avatar or whatever on it. Be like, okay, here we go, an arm wrestling contest. And for all I know, Nux could be like a really buff dude. Like, I don't really work out or anything, so yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, I'm not gonna go out traveling and stuff. I don't have the money to travel or to pay somebody else to come see me. So, like, I got like the stimulus money or whatever, but the stimulus check, but it was like 1,200. But I already spent like more than half of that, like on like the microphone and a new camera. So, like a camera to use for YouTube. Oh, you do audiobooks, okay. Yeah, I don't really listen to audiobooks. I think the last audiobook I ever actually listened to was like an audiobook reading of the Jurassic Park novel, so like where I like would listen to it and open the book and read along, you know. So it's just like, because I don't want to read by myself. I would play music in the background of my headphones, and then play the actual audio, right? The audiobook. Yeah, well, it's standard to me because I guess I don't really give a shit, you know? I mean, where I am right now, I've got a gun, so if people want to find out where I live and they want to show up to fuck with me, you know, it's like, okay, look. If this is the hill you want to die on, you know, okay. But you won't just be dying metaphorically. You know, trying to show up at my house, trying to, what, ransack my house and beat the shit out of me or something? Okay. Well, you can die on that hill. For real. Like, I live in Texas, too, so I'm pretty sure I could, like, defend my house if somebody's chasing after me up to my house, point the gun at them, and if they don't run away, there you go. Bam, bam. You're dead. Oh yeah, you think you saw Nux's face? Yeah, like did he have like a short haircut and and he had like a funny laugh, like a like a almost like a lost, really just a lost cause kind of laugh that made you pause. Oh, you saw his face? I don't know. It could be anybody. A lot of people look wimpy, but, you know. You know, there's a lot of people you don't expect, you know, to look the way they do. Like Geekdom 101. I thought he would have looked a little bit skinnier, but he turns out to be, like, kind of fat, you know, like pretty fat. Like almost like Boogie 2988 fat. Like, nothing against you for being fat, dude, but I didn't expect that. And you might want to, I don't know if you have like a, what they call a thyroid problem whenever they talk about it, or if you just eat too much. But, you know. You might want to just, I don't know, cut back on the hamburgers. Cut back on whatever you're eating. I don't know what it's doing to you, man. But you don't want to get diabetes for real. You know, if you want to keep making videos, you gotta make sure you're at least in a decent condition health-wise. Who knows, maybe he like works out but he can't get rid of the fat, so he's like all muscle underneath like he's a sumo wrestler. Because sumo wrestlers might be fat, but they are like incredibly strong. Like they could lift you over their head. I think Nux doesn't want to show his face because, you know, he just doesn't want to deal with any more of the Twitter drama. You know, people like finding out who he is. Like, imagine people like on Twitter like shitting all over him and finding out where he lives, you know, because he said something that they didn't like. Because he likes to troll people. Well, I don't think it's the amount of videos that really changed that, you know, it's like... But it's like when it comes to Geekdom 101, I think it's just like... Maybe he just doesn't work out much, so... CWC key mods, a wiki mod for CWC. God damn. You went around modding that kind of shit? Oh my god. Dude, fucking Christian Weston Chandler, or Christine Weston Chandler as she likes to be called, I guess, or Christina, or Christ for fuck's sake, I don't know. Like, god. I think the worst thing I ever heard about was him, like, the unclit, you know, you know that one, right? The unclit. God damn, who is dumb enough to like literally cut themselves in between their taint thinking they're gonna grow a vagina out of there? Holy shit. And the fact that he like, oh my god, the fact that he recommends like to women that they, in order to learn about like the male and female anatomy, that they play with like Transformers toys or something, like, oh my god, give me a fucking break. Holy shit. How does somebody become that much of a fucking spurg? Like, how much, like, childhood abuse does it take to become like that? Or just, like, I don't even think he was abused. Like, just, how does it get that bad? Like, I'm not going to show you pictures, but you should look it up. It's called the unclit. It's like this horrific event. Like when the Facebook, right? He posted pictures to Facebook and was like, "Oh, look, my new vagina is growing out so nicely." And people were telling him, "You need to go see the doctor. That's not a vagina." And he was like, "No, I went to see the doctor. They said it's normal. It's gonna become a vagina." And eventually he had to admit, you know, okay, I need to go see the doctor. I went to see the doctor. Dude, it wasn't even the internet. He was already kind of fucked even before the internet. Like, the internet, I think, just supporting his, like, crazy-ass shit was, like, you know, just, oh my god. Like, giving him money when he really should be focusing on, like, learning to save money. and just like he'd have to get a job maybe. The only parts that were like just obviously a little too much is when they like took advantage of like his desire for like a girlfriend, you know. But oh my god, the worst part is that with his goddamn comic, now he's including Neptunia characters in his comic. He's been doing that for a while. I'm like, oh my god, now you're a goddamn weeb? You're a weeaboo too? Oh my god, that is horrible. Oh my fucking god. Like the interdimensional shit. Like how cringy do you need to be? Like he injures himself thinking he's gonna grow a vagina. You know, like doing subliminal messaging and shit. Then he includes Neptunia of all things into his comic. And he just ruins it for everyone. Because nobody can look at it the same way again. Like, look, you see Neptune in the background there? I guarantee you, she probably is a trans girl in his comic. Oh my god. I just realized just like how like oh my god. I really hope I don't become like the next Medicare. Like people start seeing this image and just like, well, Medicare's gone. Whoever this discount, we'll just treat this guy as discount Medicare. We'll like abuse him until Medicare's back. Like CWC, yeah, he kind of needs to be canceled if he's like causing himself bodily harm, you know, like just to grow a vagina. Like if he's doing shit like that, like he needs to be stopped. Okay, he needs to be put like in like a home or something, you know, where people just kind of have to take care of him, where it's their job to do that. Like you go from being, you know, just somebody who's maybe a little of an Aussie, you know, an Asperger, to being full-blown transsexual, like psychopath, and just like a masochist, you know, who's doing all kinds of shit. Just, oh my god, oh my god. Like, well, isn't this special? We've got a real special snowflake on our cases. Jesus Christ. Like, that's not the kind of guy who should be exposed to the internet or to, like, just normal society. You know, not until, like, he can get some serious long-term help. And it needs to, like, he needs to be kept in, like, in like a ward or whatever, where he can get evaluated constantly and, like, have some experts kind of, like, walk him through life and shit before he actually goes out into like regular life. Like he seems like the kind of guy who during an interview for a job, he would just start touching himself. You know, just imagine some guy shoving his hands down his pants during an interview for a job, right? And it's just like, what are you doing? Nothing. Are you playing with yourself? No. What are you doing? I'm scratching my balls. That looks more like you're jerking off. How much are you gonna scratch? A lot? Oh my god. Oh, jeez. Like seeing like just all that shit, like whenever I see like shit like that, this is just what happens, right? Just bam. Like just it just makes me feel like the internet is putting a gun to my head. It's like it's blowing my brains out. God. He's like a staple of he's the perfect person for a live action role in like the live action Gen Z. You know, instead of that fucking cartoon, you've got live action Gen Z, the starring role of Christine Weston Chandler. Oh boy. Well, I can guarantee you I've never been to the CWC Wiki Discord, so I don't even really read up on the CWC very often. It's like been like probably like a year or two maybe. The bargain brand? I'm not saying I'm mediocre, though maybe I am, but Medicare, you know, Mr. Medicare. But yeah, bargain brand. Yeah, okay, I'm the bargain brand. I'm bargain brand Medicare. Well, there's a social conduct, I guess, within like any community, but some communities take that social conduct too far. It's like you can't even have any fun, really. It's like that's why it's like I really have trouble considering myself a part of Antitube, you know? Where I'm just like, really? It's like a community, but it's like, imagine some guy ragging on me for the kind of content you make. You know, you're making these kinds of jokes about this anime. Is like, shut the fuck up, all right? I'm not gonna follow your community guidelines of your own. There's YouTube community guidelines, and that's it, okay? I'm not gonna show porn. I'm not gonna show like live gore or some shit happening. But I'm not gonna follow your stupid guidelines about what kind of jokes I can make. I'm not gonna, wish death upon somebody as like a joke. I'm not gonna legit say like as a joke, I think this guy should, just fucking get murdered and raped by MS-13. Like, that's not the kind of jokes I make. Like, at most you might hear like a KYS joke, you know? And then you have like people like who legit get involved in waifu wars. There are some people out there who legit take the waifu wars seriously. Like, even if I were to get like 1 million subs, right? I'm still gonna say what I fucking want, alright? You know? And especially like with like in recent months, I've seen a lot of people who were like who I've seen on Twitter who like were hating on like Black Lives Matter back in the day, you know, when like it was popular to hate on it, but then they jump shark and forget about everything that Black Lives Matter did and just like start pretending like it's just a perfect movement. So it's like, and like people who were like liking and retweeting Donald Trump stuff, but then they start hating on him like he's the worst thing that ever happened to this country. Nothing he's done is good, and yet you liked what he did before. Really? Suck my fucking cock, alright? That's why I have trouble trusting people that I know on Twitter and just a lot of people, because it's like, it's inconsistent, okay? I don't care whether you hate or like Donald Trump, but at least be fucking consistent, okay? Don't say shit that's so inconsistent. Don't pretend like you never liked something, and don't tell me that only like a few months later you're like, oh, well, I changed my mind. It usually takes a while for people to change how they actually think, you know? Like, at most, maybe 10 years, you know? Maybe 5 years or whatever, at least. Like, if you hate Donald Trump, whatever. But don't sit there and say, and, like and retweet his shit and then hate on him, like, later. For, like, and say that you never liked anything he did. That's fucking bullshit, alright? And then you have, like, people like Heavenly Controller, who made this one-time stream only, where he's talking about Black Lives Matter, and then he tried to justify the riots going on, which were already causing, like, fires and damage to places. And he's like, and there was, like, people who were, like, killing other people over stupid shit like TVs, and it's like, man, that's just how it feels sometimes. It's the anger, man. No, fuck the anger, alright? The anger doesn't make you a psychopath who kills people over fucking TVs, dude. You're just a clout chaser, really. If you're gonna say that shit, you're a clout chaser, okay? You're saying the most controversial thing to get clout and hoping that'll make you, like, bigger, you know? Like, boom. Really. You're just gonna grow. And he barely got anywhere near the subscriber he got on, that he has on, like, that video. Nothing, like, really. And, like, it took way too long for him to get even, like, over 100,000 views, you know? So I'm like, Yeah, okay, sure. And then he just never made another video about it again. If you're gonna support Black Lives Matter, then why don't you do what they do? Break the social distancing rules like they did and go out and protest or some shit. Don't sit on Twitter talking about it. You know, spending all your time talking on Twitter and making YouTube videos, like, oh, fuck off. And then he tried, dude, on Twitter, Heavenly Controller basically made himself to be like Black Lives Matter version of Anita Sarkeesian gender bent. Like, it's like, oh, you know, the whole like problem about female characters in video games aren't represented well or not enough. Well, now he's talking about black people, you know, for video games. He's just makes the Anita Sarkeesian argument but for a different thing. And yet you could probably find tons of video games, tons of anime, tons of everything that have black people in prominent roles. It's like, how obvious do you have to be? It's like not, it shouldn't be that hard. Well, I would say that my opinions right now are not the collectively held viewpoint. I think a lot of people were jumping on the bandwagon, but then like it got too bad, so they had to like roll it back. It's like, okay, this is getting too bad. We can't support this without like being canceled ourselves, you know, like by like every neighbor we have. Like, you know, just because it got really bad, you know. It's like, first there was the Chaz, which was fucking hilarious, you know. The Chaz was like fucking amazing. It's like, I wanted to see it go on for a little bit longer, but then they had to have like all those shootings, and it was like, okay, that's got to end. But you know, the only reason it ended because they started going after it, like going up to that like politician's house, and that's when she decided, okay, now we have to end it because they came after me too. Hashtag me too, right? Oh my god, and I can tell you, it's like people want to, yeah, like people want to say like no black people in video games or anime or manga. It's like, dude, okay, like you have tons of dark-skinned females in anime, manga, and video games that are like fat to like crazy. Okay, people love their dark-skinned anime girls. Okay, people love Jahi-sama wa Kujikanai or whatever. You know, Jahi-sama will not be stopped or something. Like people love that character. That smug lolly who becomes a sort of busty, dark-skinned adult. You know, her true form. People like, oh my god, it's just like, god, dude, he has not been with the times since like he's probably been. It's like, is he like a time traveler? You know, who came from like the 50s or something and has not been with the times for like ages, so he just travels to like a further point in time. And thinks, oh, it's just a recent thing, you know? No. Okay, it's been like that for a long time. Okay, this isn't the 1990s or even the 1980s. You know, it's not even the early 2000s. It's been like 20 years later since then, maybe. Yeah. But yeah, people have like pretty much, it's been like what, over 55 days of like nonstop riots. So eventually the viewpoint just went from, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter, they did nothing wrong, nothing wrong, they've been perfect, you know, they just want to fight for equal rights. And then it just jumped sharp to like, okay, this is a problem. These guys, you know, these leftist Democrats, it's like, really? Now you're going to talk about like the leftist Democrats, you're going to act like that you were like on that kind of side the whole time of like the people who hate on leftist Democrats, you know, and the people who vote them in. Oh, fuck off, really? God, you're just a fucking attention-seeking piece of shit. It's like, at least be consistent, okay? If you supported Black Lives Matter, then why not stick with it? At least have some, you know, dignity. You know, something that could be considered admirable, you know? Like at least a sense of loyalty to a cause, maybe, whatever that cause is, even if it had like shitty background. Yeah, oh yeah, Turn A Gundam, Lauren, yeah, Lauren Sheck or whatever his name is. Yeah, he was a Black Gundam pilot, and he arguably piloted one of the most powerful fucking Gundams. But yeah, I guess Gundam doesn't have any important black male characters. Like, give me a fucking break. And he, like, Heavenly Controller has, like, a huge fucking ego, okay? It just, I doubt, with the way I hear him talk and the way he behaves, especially, like, the way the way his opinion was, like, I don't know what to say, logicated in, like, that video about Black Lives Matter. He just comes off as an egotistical piece of shit. Like, just be consistent. And if you are going to say that you're fighting the good fight, get out there and protest, okay? But don't sit there and complain to me that you don't want to be out there. Because, well, I don't want to do that. Why not? Well, because I don't have to. Well, I don't have to fucking sit there and listen to you preach to me. Like you have anything to say that's worthwhile if you're not going to go out there and, what's the fucking phrase I'm looking for? If you're not going to go out there and toe the line. At least toe the line for the people you're supporting, okay? Like, if I supported a protest, right? If I was supported, like, a certain cause or whatever, and I had, like, the option to be out there, I would, okay? He looks like the kind of kid who lives in the city. Right now, I'm in the fucking sticks. So even if I wanted to just go out and march and protest, it's like, I can't do that shit. I live, like, 3 hours of a walk away from the nearest supermarket, right? And then it's a 3-hour walk back. So by the time I get there to the city, which, not even to the city, by the time I get to the places where they'd be marching anywhere, it's like, it's over, They probably go home and then come back the next day. Then I have to go back home, and what am I going to do, camp outside? I don't want to, not to mention there's a fucking pandemic, right? If you want to say, well, I don't want to be out there during the pandemic, well, you should not be supporting people being out there during the pandemic. It's like, especially like, there was like, and that's the problem. Like, there were people during these protests, who brought their kids out there. Don't bring your fucking kids to a protest that could turn fucking violent. They're not your fucking agenda, your tool for your agenda, okay? They're your kids. They're more important than your agenda, okay? Never is, an agenda, whether it has a good cause or not, more important than keeping your kids safe, okay? Like, you deserve to be have the shit slapped out of you, and your kids taken from you, okay? Not only is there a pandemic, so you're risking your kid's life from a disease that could kill them and could do irreparable damage to them for all you know, but you're bringing them to during a pandemic to a protest that could turn violent. There's like a video of this woman filming these police that apparently are ambushing these protesters or whatever. They could have been rioters, I don't know. But the woman filming it was like, there are children out there. Like, there were children there. Why are you bringing your kids there? Fuck you. Like, you've got no argument to you cannot, just reasonably argue against that. That is, just not arguable. Your kids are more important. Period. Like, imagine some guy who's a YouTuber and he does makes all his money doing YouTube, but now he can't do YouTube anymore. And he has a kid to feed. He's just going to sit there and try to keep doing YouTube and it's not working? Or is he going to go out and get a regular job? I'm not going to call it a real job because, YouTube is still a real job. If you're making money off of it, it's a real job. But if you refuse to go out and get a regular job because you want to keep doing YouTube, but you've got a kid to feed, you are a worthless sack of shit. If it ain't working, or if you refuse to even get a regular job on the side as well, then just to try to feed the kid and keep him healthy, you don't deserve children. You don't even probably deserve to live. Okay, you're a worthless piece of shit. Okay, there's a special place you're going to. It's below the earth, I'd be the next Jordan Peterson. I don't want to have text-to-speech, first of all. And I don't know if I want to be the next Jordan Peterson. Like, going to interviews and shit and having people, constantly try to piss all over the argument that I'm trying to make and, twist the words and shit. Like somebody saying, constantly asking me, but why are you a misogynist? But I'm not. Just like, just there are people out there. All you need to know is there are people out there who only support things because it gets them clout. Like the whole Black Lives Matter during the early stages, because here's the thing: during the early stages of the protests, it was okay. You had like most people agreed, right? Most people agreed George Floyd didn't need to die. There's probably some stuff they could have done, so they wanted to protest. Most people agreed. But then you have people coming out of the woodworks to use the protesters as cover for when they want to burn, loot, and steal. Burn, loot, riot. And the media loves those people. Hell, even some of the protesters actually legit just love those people anyways. Not all of them, mind you. It's kind of like a... Because that's the thing, it's like a lot of people will say, oh, they'll just lump in all the protesters together. Just like how like there are people who will lump in all cops, all ACAB, all cops are bastards, because you saw some videos. Well, I saw some videos of some rioters, saying Black Lives Matter. Is that good enough to say all protesters are the fucking same? Give me a fucking break. That's how you can tell these people are worthless. No integrity. Like, even if somebody who I thought was my friend, and even if I had like a history with them was like this, like I would ditch them in an instant, okay? It's like, okay, well, no skin off my back. I guess you were never really a good friend to me to begin with. Okay, you could pay me $1 million, but if you're gonna be that inconsistent, that $1 million means nothing to me. Like, if you could present me evidence that this person, like, is just as inconsistent as shit, has, like, just an endless history of being a constant back and forth, They seem like a fucking clout chaser. Even if they paid me $1 million to be their friend. Okay, you can't buy friendship. You can buy, like, maybe you can buy things that make you happy, maybe, but you can't buy friendship like that with somebody who's that inconsistent and is that insufferable to be around. Just be consistent in what you support, and if you are going to change sides, give a good reason, It's like, okay, well, I supported them during the early stages because it seemed like everybody was unified and I thought it was a worthwhile cause, but then everybody started burning shit, right? That would be a good enough reason, okay? When people start burning shit and you'll leave, it's like, okay, it's just like all those other times, I got to get out of here. That's fine. But if you're going to leave that area and still support the protests by including the rioters in there, it's like, and being like, oh, they're just angry. No, you're just a piece of shit, okay? Don't give them fucking excuses for burning and looting. They're using protesters as cover for it. And they're using like fat people and like mothers, single mothers as like shields and shit. Like they have like this squad of fat people in scooters and shit, and they call themselves fatties against like fascism or something. And they'll use like they'll use the image of like these poor, defenseless, like fat people who can't really walk or defend themselves, to like, I guess, have cover, or single mothers, it's like Antifa, or just people who want to burn, loot, and steal and just destroy shit and murder. And you have like just the media who's now being betrayed by Antifa, because Antifa is like refusing to have they only want select trusted sources, right? So they like are chasing out Washington Post and other stuff, I'm not following it too closely in terms of the election, but I'm following it enough to know that like, mail-in voting fucking is gonna be a total crock of shit. People are already probably finding, I guarantee you, people are already finding all kinds of like voter fraud where it's like, dead people having votes cast in, it's like, they're dead. They shouldn't be voting. They're not alive to vote. It's not their vote. And just like people like fucking around with the ballots and shit. Or just tossing out votes that they don't want, And then you have like I followed enough like with memes, like Joe Biden saying, if you can't decide whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Really? Like, how can you not tell that, like, Joe Biden is willing to be a racist just to get an election win, Like, that's a lot more racist than, than, like, building a fucking wall. At least a wall actually has a purpose. But telling somebody that they're not black because they voted for Donald Trump or something, or that they can't decide, you have got to be shitting me. That guy is as racist as it gets. Like every like a leftist Democrat, every like neocon, a fucking Republican, they're all fucking shit. It's like it's why we need term limits, for like Congress and just everything, And they need to be like a short enough term limit to where it's like, okay, they can't stay too long. The one thing they should not be, if they ever put term limits in, it's the one thing they should not be allowed to repeal. You have to have term limits. Like it needs to be in the fucking Constitution. Like the very concept of a term limit for every office, should never be able to be repealed. Maybe add some things on as time goes on, so you might see like the flaws or something, but never remove the actual concept. Because the longer that guy stays in, or that girl, like I don't know, an Elizabeth Warren, the longer they have to, really start getting more power and start really fucking things up. They could turn it straight up into an oligarchy. It's like an oligarchy, right, with like the elites. I think the one thing that really needs to happen is that there needs to be a president who also is like not so much a weeaboo, but understands like the problems of people who like get involved in entertainment, right? Like there needs to be bans on like China being involved in Hollywood movies. There needs to be bans on China buying out like buying out video game companies, Tencent, and they need to like ban like the censorship of like anime and like manga and video games in our own country. Like, because they need, the only thing that should never happen, that needs to be censored is like real child porn, like just showing real depictions of real people being just gunned down or whatever, that kind of stuff to kids, and child porn to adults. Maybe adults could find like are going to be okay, I guess, if they see like a scene of some guy actually getting gunned down from like as like a part of a historical thing, but because maybe an adult can handle it, but like that's about it. It's not even globalism really, it's like just it's Chinaism, Tencent, because currently it's Chinaism. If China disappears, or if China just stops being a powerful country, it's going to turn into Russiaism or whatever, or North Koreaism, or the EUism, because globalism implies that it's just it involves everyone, right? And not every country is probably on board. It's more like a select amount of people in the whole entire globe, so select amount of countries. But yeah, just if there's ever a president who's like, you know what, we need to stop people from trying to censor these anime, they need, just or video games or whatever, that'd be great. It shows that he's paying attention to as many avenues of his country as possible, or whatever, every like source of entertainment. It shows he like cares a lot. Not only does he care about foreign policy, the economy, but he also cares about like the kind of entertainment you partake in, and he's like got that whole freedom of speech thing. So it's like, make what you want to make as long as it's not straight up illegal, like child porn. Just don't make legit child porn. Don't entertain, pedophiles with you filming like your neighbor's daughter getting butt fucked, okay? It's fucking disgusting. Yeah, somebody who hasn't been in political office for 40 plus years and has a limit, and at least has a limited grasp of the internet. Yeah, Japan does censor its hentai, but it's nowhere near like what like a lot of people do. You know, and it's nowhere near what like Sony has been doing. Like in most cases, they don't censor it as much. Like the gigantic beams of light covering like 80% of the screen and shit. Like, no, that's terrible. Hey, it's better late than never. Well, you may be old as dirt, but it's better late than never. At least you'll have something to look forward to before you kick the bucket. A shining moment at the end of your life. Anime is saved. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. It's really shit. Just seeing like all the people trying to cancel every little anime, every little video game, except for like the few that like kowtow to the elite, to the extreme, and like the vocal minority. Like fucking what is it? Life is Strange 2 had like an actual sex scene between underage characters, but you can't have like hentai, doing that kind of shit. And like I said, be consistent. Either it's all okay if it's fictional, or none of it is. Just consistency is an admirable trait, okay? It's not a weakness. I'm not sure I remember that one. Cuties? Is that like a meme? Where it's like Cory in the House kind of anime, or is it like actual anime? I've never seen that if it is one. The AOCs, right, yeah. We need to get rid of farting cows, everybody. Cows cannot be allowed to fart. Oh, give me a fucking break. Jesus Christ. Green New Deal? One more like new piss deal. It's the same old piss, but it's coming out from a new source. Oh boy. God, I hate being like out here, in the countryside, just that's the one thing I hate about not being in the city, is because in the city I could look for a job, but being out here, it's like the only thing I can do is just wait it out. The only thing I can do here is hope that somebody like donates to the Patreon, right? But out here, if I was in the city, I could go out looking for a fucking job. Like coming out here because it's recommended, because it's like, oh, not as populated, and yet I still see like cases being said to skyrocket. It's like, give me a fucking break. Either we don't need a lockdown, or you don't need to give out this. Just like, I hate it when people like say that kind of shit. They just act like they know everything. Like look at Madagascar. Madagascar of all places got a beer virus case. Ugh. Dude, if it can come to Madagascar, it can come to like the sticks of Texas any day. It's gonna be Coof Central. It's like my Discord nickname right now. It used to be Uncle Nigger, right? Because everybody would call me that. Like iDubbbz had his whole nigger faggot, right? People would call me Uncle Nigger. But then I to go with the whole COVID-19 meme, I just named it to King Coofer. Because I also hadn't changed it in a while, so I was like, okay, King Coofer. There we go. Because I'm part Chinese, right? So I must already inherently possess the Wu flu. It's like my mom is the kind of person who's like telling me I gotta wash my hands after every little thing, right? So it's like, because here's the thing. In some cases, you need to just take your chances. Like, what? I'm carrying food down because I'm with my mom right now in her country house, right? She cooks a plate of food. She tells me to come get it, and I bring it down. By that point, I've touched everything anyways just to get into the house, the downstairs apartment that I'm living in. Just to get inside, I gotta touch the doorknob. I gotta, like, put the plate down, which I'm already touching with my hands. It's everywhere. I gotta do, like, a full, like, deep clean of the entire thing. I've gotta, like, scrub the walls and shit. I've gotta, like, decontaminate the entire area. Have somebody, like, it's like an entire fucking, like, research laboratory process. You can't, like, fucking do that here. Like, don't keep, like, and even after all this shit, like, it's pretty much, like, the virus is, like, a real thing, but, like, people, like politicians take advantage of it, you know? So, it's like, what was I gonna say? You know, just so they'll take advantage of it and overhype the shit out of it, you know, because they like the lockdowns. It makes it easier to get away with a lot of shit. But even after all this evidence, like, oh, the CDC finally released what we already knew. 94% of cases had, like, you know, underlying conditions. But they acted like it was just COVID-19. It's confirmed COVID-19 death. And people who, like, die from other things are just still counted even if they never tested positive. And people signing up for testing, never going in, but they get messages saying, we tested you, you're positive, but I never got tested. Like, it's a fucking conspiracy, okay? Like, it's just a crock of shit. It still kills people, sure, but even the flu kills people. It's not the flu, but still, there's a lot of problems to be had with, like, this whole lockdown and the way people handle it. Yeah, people moving from California to Texas, you know, yeah. I mean, the only thing that makes Texas really, like just good enough for me is, like, be like, you know, the only reason I wouldn't move from Texas even to another state or to even another country is because, look, I'm already in a state with, like, gun laws, you know, so it's like that, like, work, I guess, for me. So it's like good. So just, you know, can't, like, I just can't sit there and just move to a state like, I don't know, Chicago and feel happy. What I can do, you know, is just stay in Texas. If I had the money to move, you know, and I had the ability to, like, maintain, like, a living there, I might move to, like, the Netherlands or, like, Japan or something. Because Japan handled the virus definitely better than, like, a decent few places. And the Netherlands, you know, the Netherlands, I've seen some places in the Netherlands, like, in photos that look, like, kind of deserted, but they look like those plain fields, and I kind of like that look, you know? It's quiet, but it's not surrounded, like, by a bunch of trees and, like, crazy wild creatures, you know? Like, you might find, like, a snake, maybe, but there aren't all these trees all over that, like, are a breeding ground for every kind of spider you can imagine. There's a like a lot of, like, open area, right? So it's like it would take time. Yeah, I'm sure Japan is, like, expensive to live there if you're, like, depending on where you live. But also, like, Japan is one of those few places where it's like politics isn't the same as it is in, like, America necessarily, so it'd be, like, a nice change of pace. Like, I'd move there, but I probably wouldn't, like, stay there for the rest of my life, you know? Like, I like, if I were to, my plan would be, like, to, like, live there for maybe, like, a year or two and hope to see, like, how things are in, like, back in America, you know? Because, like, what if you get arrested in Japan? There's, like, horror stories of that. You know, getting arrested in Japan, it's not because, oh, 99% of crimes or something don't, like, go get convicted because they're so good at finding the criminals. No, dude. There are literally evidence of cops, like, pressuring people just to admit that they did something even if they didn't. Like, and then you go to jail, you go to prison. If you're put on death row, even if there's evidence, it's very unlikely that you'll get out. Like, for example, like there's a guy, right, who was signed up for like death row, and he was constantly being put off. But the only reason he went there is because like one out of three judges believed him to be innocent, but because the other two judges believed him to be guilty, it was like, I'm going against the system. I have to agree with them, or I'm going against the system. Like, that's the mindset that this judge mentioned, that it was like, I felt like I was going against the system. And then he like abandoned his like position after that. So it was like, it's fucking shit. Okay, the criminal justice system there is absolute poo poo. Okay, it's caca poo poo dooku and fucking dookie. So I would only like spend maybe a year or two there. Because it's like, because like, again, gun laws. I don't like the gun laws they have there. You know, it's like, you never know who you could meet in life. You know, you could wind up at like meeting like a lone Yakuza. And I'm pretty sure Yakuza have guns, okay? It's not like the stereotype of anime where you see them pull out a fucking katana. They're pulling out guns too, okay? So sanity-wise, it depends. There's different like kinds of sanity. There's the gun law sanity, and then there's I'm not that crazy into politics sanity. You know, in America, you find like people who just, you know, they'll fucking like pop their top at the mention of anything they disagree with and just go crazy over it. Like they'll think the world is ending because you don't agree with them completely. Like you're not a carbon copy. Politics-wise, which is atrocious. In Japan, they still have the whole collective idealist mindset, collectivist, you know, and it can be really shitty, especially for like their children. You know, it's like, if you don't go to get good grade, if you don't become doctor or high paying job, you know, like the doctor or lawyer, you are worthless. So you have to get the same job as all the other successful people. You want to be an artist? Suck my cock, son. Get out of here. You want to be a YouTuber? Fuck you. I will not support somebody who is a YouTuber or an artiste. Like, they don't understand that it takes time to develop a career or something, right? That isn't like just... And, you know, they pressure them like crazy. Like, the pressure there, just atrocious. Like, like some of the pressure there is like why you had some murders happen in like the 80s that were like really freaky. Like, because being freaky with their murders was like the only way they could express themselves, just how dark they were feeling. Like during a time when, you know, Fist of the North Star was the perfect medicine, because it was like showing like all these dark, creepy murderers getting justice done by Kenshiro with the mighty, you know, that kind of shit. Oh, man. So, you know, Japan has its own fucked up shit. It's just not as, like... It's just not Western SJW typical. It's got its own breed of SJWs. Although they do share some common similarities. Like, you're still gonna find feminists, you know, making... stupid, like coming up with stupid logic for why a man should be arrested or something. Like, oh, you touched me on the train, even though it's so fucking jam-packed that of course everybody's hand is touching me at this time. Like, it got to the point where like there's an actual agency, right, for helping men out with false claims of molestation. Like, it might, even if it's not the majority, right, of like all these things, it's still enough that there needs to be some kind of stoppage of like of false claims, you know? Like, once in a blue moon, okay, fine, whatever. At least still offer him some help. But if you have it happening like that often, you know, towards like maybe like happening to so many people in such a short time, you gotta be serious. You gotta treat that seriously. You gotta be like, okay, this guy needs some help. There's something definitely wrong here. Like, this is not happening that often, okay? You gotta be fucking with me. But yeah. Also, I just want to, go to Japan and spend a lot of time there so I can, like, just be at the source of my fucking weeaboo goodies, So I can make those weeaboo videos I've always wanted to make. Like, just make Filthy Frank-esque cringy videos of me walking around with, like, a body pillow, acting like a fucking freak, Or just doing, like, funny shit, Like doing a live figure review of like a figure I see at a store, asking the store if I can film, for my channel, and be like doing a live figure review. Oh man, that figure, man, the tits on that figure, a little flat, but on that one, ooh, that's spicy. Go to like an adult Japanese hentai store, look at the hentai documakuras, and post that to Pornhub. Yeah, ooh, if this gets to like 10k likes, dude, oh man, I'll do a video of me twerking. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that. If this video actually does get to 10,000 likes, I will do a video of me twerking. I can do that. I'm not going to post anything to Pornhub, mind you, but I'll twerk. I'll twerk for the 10k simp bucks. For the fucking, for sugar daddy. Oh god, I got a fart. Okay, there we go. Mic unmuted. Whew. What, am I gonna get isekai'd into Dead Man Wonderland Season 2? If I go to Japan. That's not the question, is when I go to Japan, if I go to Japan. Because I'm like a fucking broke-ass piece of shit, so I never know when I would ever get the money to do that. Like, let alone for like 2 years, I'd probably at most be able to hope for like a once-in-a-lifetime, like 2-week trip or something. Like what kind of work experience do I have to offer Japan, right? Because that's the only way they'll let you in, if you can offer some kind of job, right? It's like, and you can, so it's like, I'd be a tourist, but I couldn't get like a roommate. Like what, I'm gonna leech off of a roommate? Like I don't have like money flowing in my Patreon or something where I'm like, oh, here, you see, I have a job as a YouTuber, I can put money back into the system. Like, no, I can't fucking do that. I'm not even like Nux, right? Who has like at least what, $1,000 maybe on Patreon, or over 2,000. I don't know. I'm not Jim Sterling, who makes like what, 11 to 13k a month on Patreon. Fat boy Jim Sterling with his edgy clothing. I don't make shit off of YouTube. I mean, it's like, I don't really have to, but it's like, it would make certain things go faster. Like the animated series, I could like spend money on voice actors. The second episode of that animated series I mentioned before, like, cost me about $100, maybe almost $100. Close, maybe like $20 less just for voice actors alone. I had to like make the custom assets myself, which are, pretty shit. They're not like the best. Yeah, well, again, not necessarily, some people don't like do that, some like E semicolon R, he either he already has a Patreon, or he could make a Patreon and easily get like a decent amount of money, or at least enough money that he could feel like pretty happy with it. And he takes forever to make videos, probably longer than I do. So it's like, it's not that black and white. But it is like the fastest path, I guess, to being like a bigger channel, But you get a lot of like subscribers who don't actually care about what you make unless it's like that one specific thing. And they expect a certain like behavior from you. It's like, oh, You need to be family friendly. Like, fuck off. Family friendly my ass. It's like, what the fuck is family friendly? Okay, I've seen Markiplier got a fucking strike. Of all things. You know, YouTube doesn't know family friendly, like they don't know their left nut from their right nut. Like, the idea of family friendly to them is like, you know, Hassan Piker maybe, or, you know, fucking Cenk Uygur, or even just Fox News. Like, you know, I get it that they're quote unquote news sites and they consider themselves journalists, but not really. Okay, they're absolute shit. Okay, they're about as bad as China. I mean, at most, when it comes to Fox News, I find myself entertained watching, you know, Tucker Carlson maybe, or Jesse Waters, but that's about it. Yeah, so, like, you know, they have a certain punch to their commentary, you know? But at the same time, it's just like, you know, YouTube doesn't know anything about family friendly, or, you know, how to inspire a better upload schedule out of creators. It's like, if I were to like make constant content, the only thing I could ever do reasonably is like live streams like this. But, you know, it's like, that's not creative, really. Okay, that's not creative. Okay, creativity is in like scripting, you know, or being like, even if you're off the cuff, as long as you speak in a certain way and you edit it like in a certain way, you know. But if you're just sitting in front of the camera just constantly mouthing off about how you feel about an anime or a video game, or like a TV show, just not really. Okay, that's not really creative. There's no creative process to the editing, you know. The guy they go to? No, I don't know what you mean, because the way you worded it sounds kind of weird. Unless you mean they already have a guy who's family friendly that they just go to and nothing else. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. On my Patreon, I pretty much just started updating it, making like actual goals and tiers and all that. Like, but like, yeah. Like, if I get like $100, I'll probably pay like an editor, maybe. You know, start paying for an editor maybe sometimes. You know, to help like speed things along a little bit. Like on some videos, the second goal would probably be like, I don't know, $300. I don't know. Like, I'd probably pay like an artist to do some channel art or whatever. Like, you know, those character poses that people use, like Just a Robot kind of has. And then 500, I'd probably pay like some animator to do like some small animations for the channel. Oh, there's always a need to roast the fucking Young Turks, and sometimes Fox News. Okay, Fox News is like, you know, most of them are like just boring as shit. It's like, God, my dad watches like Sean Hannity every day. You know, he just tunes into Fox News every day, all day, and I'm just like, God damn, give it a break. And my parents would complain to me about electricity, but they leave the TV on running all the time every day. And the Young Turks, look, the Young Turks are the Young Turks, okay? To them, the Armenian genocide never fucking happened. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, it's ridiculous. And then you got like people like Rev Says Desu, right? Rev Says Desu, who's got like over 200k subscribers, just like doing stuff you could do in in Windows Movie Maker. Oh man, that's funny. It's not the most creative stuff, but it's still he's got a deadpan humor to him, so it's kind of funny. It's funny, you know. But yeah, it's not that easy being cheesy, I guess. The idea of trying to be creative, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I want to be as creative as possible, right? So I guess the saying is, it's not so easy being creevy, not cheesy, but creevy. It's like you combine the word cheesy with creative. Creevy. Or if you're like watching Evil Dead and you're just with like Bruce Campbell, he'll probably say, it's not easy being groovy. Oh boy. And you know, also like with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, you know, you had like people saying Logan Paul learned, he grew up. No, he didn't. Okay, it's not so much what he's supporting, but like the way he words it. You know, like Logan Paul, like the way he worded it, like you have to be anti-racist, like actively anti-racist. You can't just be not a racist. It's like that's the kind of wording that every fucker uses when they try to like drum up some like drama involving that kind of shit. He's still a clout chaser, okay? He's still that same hooligan who would still make hooligan content, okay? The only thing that sets him apart from like Heavenly Controller is that he was actually at like a protest, right? But where was he when is Jake Paul his like cousin or brother or whatever? I think it's his brother. Why weren't you there keeping him in line if you really grew up? If you grew up, you'd stop him. You'd be around each other, okay? You know what each other are up to, you know. You'd be there. You'd pretty much disown your brother and be like, I don't want anything to do with him after that hooligan shit he pulled off. You're still a fucking hooligan. Okay, you'd still do the whole suicide forest shit. It just takes the right time and the right place. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm about 3 hours in. I'm gonna wrap this up. It's been a long stream, so it's a nice little test of my new microphone. I'm working on an animated series. If anybody watching this, like in the future, wants to donate, you know, to help that along, because I'm a cheap, lazy piece of shit. Okay. I'm not gonna run outside during social distancing rules and just try to get a job there. I may as well stick with what I'm doing, but if you want to donate to the Patreon and make it happen faster, that'll help, because all it takes is online communication. And also, I will be working on other videos, just in due time. So, I still gotta make that Doomslayer waifu review, which which isn't gonna take any money to make. I can make that easily, so